Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to Mindful Yoga. Today our theme is the body and emotions. We'll use yoga and qigong to just loosen up and make space for emotions, noticing them, feeling them, maybe not suppressing or hiding, or maybe not even knowing what they are, but feeling some part of the body that always is either numb or aching. That might give us some clues to how we want to open up the body. We'll start with some breathing as usual, which is a great way to begin to open up the body and notice our breathing, whether it's a little rough or smooth, arriving onto the mat, letting the sits bones settle down towards the earth, lifting up through the spine, long through the back of the neck, shoulders soft, cheeks soft, belly soft. And bringing our attention to the diaphragm as it contracts and expands, perhaps inviting the air to come into the lower ribs, sides and back. Expand some places that don't usually get our attention. And gradually letting the breath soften and lengthen. And with that exhale, beginning the process of letting go down through all the cells of the body. We're doing a yoga that says yes to all the mixed and messy feelings of the holiday season, of all the seasons of our lives. We make space to notice and acknowledge how we feel: anxiety, worry, to feel emotions and to let them flow, to befriend them, to bring them kindness and openness. Our poem today about Hokusai, who says, look carefully. Hokusai says, pay attention, notice. He says, keep looking, stay curious. He says, there's no end to seeing. He says, every one of us is a child. Every one of us is ancient. Every one of us has a body. He says, every one of us is frightened. Every one of us has to find a way to live with fear. And just turning inside us, asking what wants my attention right now. Perhaps bringing hands to a place on the body that has emotional or physical aching. What wants my attention right now? And then bringing hands to cap the head, just gently resting the hands with spread fingers around the skull. Feeling that light and gentle touch. Bringing the hands to the ears. The hands to the eyes. Just gently covering them. Running fingers across the eyebrows, down the temples, and letting them come down across the cheeks and down to the neck. Bringing the fingers up behind the ears, Just rubbing down the sides of the neck. Letting touch and massage open up any places that are a little stuck. And then coming down to the heart, hands on the heart chakra, this center of compassion and love, wish for love and giving of love. And down to the solar plexus, the fire chakra. And hands down to the belly, the inner ocean, the water chakra. This place of sometimes emotional volatility, of waves of emotions passing through, and learning the rhythm and the changing way of our inner ocean. And then down to the joint between leg and pelvis, that base, the grounding, the earth chakra. A place that can harbor fear and anxiety. Coming back up to the belly, the water chakra, where guilt and shame can settle. Up to the solar plexus, a place of power which can feel powerless, full of self-doubt, feeling I'm never enough. And coming up to the heart, the chakra of air. Sometimes some loneliness harbors here, some envy, some lack of forgiving. And up to the throat once again, warming the throat as hands loosely come around it. This fear of speaking that can harbor here, shyness, insecurity. And coming up to the third eye, a place of clarity or perhaps confusion and lack of focus. And finally, the crown chakra, a place of connection or perhaps disconnection and apathy. Bring the arms wide, stretching out from the heart, out through elbows and wrists, cupping the palms slightly. Rumi says, welcome in joy, depression, meanness. Welcome all the emotions, even if there are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Clearly let them in. They may be some new delight. And bring hand to chest and hand to belly, pausing for a moment. And spreading hands out, and welcome once again the dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door and invite them in. And bringing hands back in. Rumi ends, be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Let's bring our fingers over to the eye of our shoulder on one side, so opposite hand in that cavity in front of the shoulder, just rubbing there. There's a number of spots there that are on the heart and lung meridians. And then stretching out the arm and tapping down the front of the arm and up the back of the arm, using some tapping on meridians to open up. Tapping across the breastbone, other hand comes over to the opposite shoulder eye and rubs. Let's dig in there all around. And then reaching out the arm and tapping down. And then coming to the middle, tapping down the breastbone, through the solar plexus and the belly, and down onto the thighs. Unfolding the legs, one leg bent in front of you. We're going to work with the spleen meridian a little bit. The spleen, pancreas, and stomach area have to do with worry and anxiety in the Chinese system. So you have this shin bone down the very front. Bring the opposite hand over, and the forefinger goes right under the knee bone, in that little crook between the shin bone and the knee bone, and the other three fingers come down. Then replace the little finger there with the forefinger, and that's a point that you can really rub for the spleen meridian, kind of digging in there. Then all fingers rub down, tucking in the edge of that bone down towards the ankle. And one more time, you can bring the fingers up, align them under the knee bone. Forefinger comes to where the little finger has been, rubbing there, and then tucking in and rubbing down. Then taking the hand on the same side as that leg and tucking in the inseam of the inner edge of the shin bone from the ankle up. So tucking in the fingers on the inseam of the lower leg, bringing it up slowly a few times. Relaxing down as you can through jaw, through lips and tongue, through stomach. And then we'll come to the other side. And once again, opposite hand comes across, forefinger under the knee bone. Press in with all four fingers, then bring the forefinger down to where the little finger was and press, dig in a bit. Relax down through belly and stomach. And then tucking in the fingers underneath the shin bone, coming down to the ankle. And repeating that, pressing down where the little finger was, and tucking in and running down that side of the shin bone. Then bringing the other hand and starting at the ankle, tucking in under the inseam of the lower leg along that shin bone and coming up. Loosening down through toes, through stomach and spleen and pancreas area on the left side of the body, under the ribs. Then we're going to bring legs wide and point and flex a few times with the ankles. All the joints needing hydrating and warming. Leave both legs out or bring one up and tuck the foot in the inner thigh. Hand runs down the extended leg, other arm reaches up. Pause there for a minute, feeling. I always have a place here that I'm befriending. And then coming over, this time we're going to let the knee be soft and bring the chest towards the toes in a forward fold. And perhaps the nose comes down in the direction of the knee. Opening up, feeling, and coming inward. And lifting up from that, changing sides. One hand extends down the leg, other one reaches up. Pause there for a moment as you stretch from sits bones up through the sides of the glutes, under the arm, and up. And then coming over, turning chest towards the toes, and perhaps nose in the direction of the knee. Opening up. And coming inwards. And then coming up, bringing both feet together, so legs are together in front of you, knees are soft, and we'll come forward with the chest towards the toes. That's as far as is comfortable. Then bringing the hands back behind you, bring the heels in and the knees wide as you open with shoulder blades coming together. Once again, coming into a forward fold, legs together extended, chest coming towards the toes. Option to come into a C shape in the spine if you wish. Then pulling back, heels, knees wide, hands behind, shoulder blades coming together. And one more time. And from here we'll go into windshield wipers. So feet are wide, knees are wide, hands are back behind for support, up through the shoulders, from the heels of the hands up, and then slowly easing the hip joints into this left to right motion. This whole hip area, pelvic bowl, very central to our emotions, our feeling, our noticing, and our loosening up. And then coming around with one arm towards the back corner. Pausing, the feeling. Somehow that feels very good today. Next time you come around, come down into a full body twist. With hands and perhaps forehead on the floor. Hokusai says everything lives inside us. He says live with the world inside you. And then pushing up and over to the other side. It matters that you care. It matters that you feel. It matters that you notice. And coming up through center, you might put your feet down, bring your weight forward onto your hands, and then bring your hips up, or come up to a standing position in whatever way works for the body. And we're going to bring our feet wide and begin to pour our weight into one foot and then the other, letting us, the body, sink down into that soft foot, imagining it in some warm, soft sand on the shores of the great ocean. Then beginning to turn one knee in and the heel lifts as the body becomes a cylinder, turning from side to side. Arms just swing naturally with that cylinder movement of the body. And then we'll begin tapping to the shoulder eyes. Take on whatever pace is right for you. And to the sides of the ribs. The sides of the waist. Then coming up to the breastbone. Letting those vibrations vibrate through, letting the vibrations open, penetrate. Coming to solar plexus. Calibrate your tapping. Maybe it's a love tap. This is the area of the spleen and the pancreas. And then coming to the belly button. And down to the inner ocean of the belly. One hand to the front of the waist and one to the back of the waist. And to the front of the abdomen and back of the abdomen. And then letting your body slowly unwind and come to stillness. Just feeling the vibrations. Noticing where you're feeling and where you're not feeling. And bringing the feet just under the hips. Knees bend, hands come back behind. And then the hands come up as the knees straighten. First just to the front of the chest. Letting the palms stretch open, the knuckles stretch open. And slowly the hands begin to come a little farther up, letting the exquisite nerve energy of the hands come into the arms, elbows, shoulders, into the chest, spleen, the liver, the belly, and feeling all the way from the toes up to the hands, fingers to feet. Option if you'd like to come up on tiptoes. Two more times. Then bringing the shoulders up to the ears, shoulder blades gliding around on the back of the ribs. Loosening up there behind the heart. Then bringing the hands to the hip creases, feet come wide. Calibrating how wide of a circle you want. Perhaps you begin small and get a little bigger, just feeling your way through the hip joints, the sacrum. Just noticing, just feeling. And round the opposite direction. I like that part. Every one of us is a child. Every one of us is ancient. Every one of us has a body. And then coming back through center. Bring the feet again under the hips. And bring the palms of the hands together with fingers pointing forward and thumbs up. We are holding on to the tail of a dragon. The dragon wags us. It's called wag the dragon tail as we go side to side. But perhaps the dragon is wagging us, opening up from ear through shoulder, shoulder through waist, just moving at the rhythm that's right for the body. And down, perhaps through the hip. And if you press the foot down on the outer side, you can get a little more stretch down through the leg, side of the leg. But remember, you've got a dragon here. And so the dragon might take you for a ride. I'll let the dragon lead. Flying through the sky and perhaps diving down into the water, who knows? And then bringing hands together at the heart. Fingers are up, palms together, lifting up, 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 separating, arms coming wide, and then a very yin, settling feeling as knees bend and hands come down, cross, and lift up, fountaining up. Letting the water come down over in warmth. Loosening up. And one more time as you fountain up through all the energy centers of the chakras and open up and bring the hands down. We're coming into mountain pose just for a moment here, feeling the bottom of the feet against the floor, the earth, feeling the gravity that we live with on this earth. Feeling alive through the arches of the feet and up through the inner thighs. A little squeeze in the glutes, lifting through the spine, shoulder blades, resting down, and lower front ribs also a little tucked, just knitting in. So you have strength through your hips, through the torso, as well as length through the spine. From your roots down into the earth, up into the peak of your mountain. Then interlacing the fingers, but keeping the forefingers out as steeple fingers, bringing them up over the head. Inhaling long from the feet up through the fingers, exhaling over, emphasizing the length over the extent to which you go over to the side. Feeling and noticing. Having some faith that as we open the body, the emotions also loosen. The mind finds some rest and relaxation. And coming up through center, bring the hands down. We're going to come into an eagle pose. Sometimes this is a balance. This time we're going to keep our toe on the earth. So let the left foot be your foundation leg, a little bend in that knee. Right leg comes over the left onto the toes, and we won't worry about bringing the foot up. We'll just keep the foot down there. Bring the left arm under the right arm. Intertwine arms and hands as you can. Let the elbows come forward a bit, opening up between the shoulder blades. And then opening up, the right foot comes out wide, arms extend up, becoming a star. Nothing to hide, sparkling open. And once again, bringing that right foot over, knees bend a bit, coming back into eagle. Left arm comes under right arm, intertwine. Almost feeling this as a contraction, which often happens when we're feeling emotions that haven't been worked through or dealt with or recognized even. So we're contracted, and then we open up, and just the opening, and just the noticing brings some calm and friendliness to the body. And we'll do that on the other side. So bringing the weight into the right foot, that knee bends a bit, left foot comes over with the toes on the earth, just allowing them to stay there. Arms come wide, right arm comes under left arm this time. Noticing any differences between the sides and accepting them, just noticing. Coming into that contracted position of the eagle, and then let the left leg comes out, arms spread, opening. And once again, left foot over, right arm under, contracting, feeling that tightness that emotions can bring into our body. And then opening and letting emotions flow. Bringing the foot back in, and then let the feet come wide. We're just going to do a side bend, just to open up your pace, your rhythm. your range of motion. And bringing the feet together. We're going to do a mudra here, where the thumb is over the forefinger and the other fingers are together. And that comes to your side, and that helps to stabilize your lower back. Arms come up, and then over to the side as we twist a bit, and up, and down to the other side, creating a flow here, up, and down to one side, and the other. Letting breath synchronize. One more time on each side. And bring the hands down. Now hands are going to come forward, palms up, offering out. Hands come wide, arms wide. Turn the palms back and press back just a little bit. Bring them forward once again, sides of hands coming together. Reach the hands up, building a fire of body and emotions, then turning the hands so the back of the fingers and the back of the hands come together and go diving down the midline. Then to the sides, push back slightly, palms back at the sides. Then stepping forward with the right foot, palms turned forward, front knee is bent, coming into peaceful warrior. Now bring the hands back behind the buttocks, interlacing the fingers. Rearrange the feet as you need to for good balance here. And then we're going to come forward. Arms might come up a bit, but then bring the hands down, straighten the leg, the front leg, and let them run down thigh or shin. Coming back up, hands come behind, press down or pull down through the hands behind. Coming over, torso parallel, arms might rise somewhat, and then bringing the hands down to the front of the leg, knee straightens and come down. And pause down there a minute, giving the knee some flex, and coming back up and bringing that foot back. Once again, hands come forward, offering forward, arms come wide, turn the palms, push back a bit. Bring the hands forward, sides of the hands together, and up, build the fire. Then turn to the back of the hands, let the fire die down. Hands come to the sides, push back. Then palms come forward as you step forward with the left foot. The front knee is bent somewhat. And shoulder blades come together as the heart goes forward into peaceful warrior. And straightening that front leg, bring the hands back behind at the buttocks, pulling down. Torso comes parallel as arms rise, just as much as you would like. Then hands come down the front of the leg for a nice opening of the back of the leg. One more place to stretch and open and feel and notice. Coming up that leg, interlacing behind once again, torso parallel, arms might rise, hands come down the front of the leg, knee is a little soft here, and sliding back up, and bring that foot in. We're going to be loosening up the hips a bit as our feet come wide and hips move back and forth. Hands are on thighs, just above the knees. Letting the hips go back and forth. When your weight is over to the left, arms come wide and the left hand comes to the right shin or thigh and right arm reaches up. Then bending the right leg and coming over to the other side with the right hand on the left leg. And just letting the knees and hips and arms move back and forth. Letting the body explore the space that it can develop with movement. One more time on each side. Then lifting up, keep the feet wide, bring the weight into the right foot, and the weight comes into the left heel with the toes up on that side. Arms come wide, turn the palms so that the palms face the walls on either side. Left leg is out, left arm comes down to be parallel to it, and right arm lifts up a bit. Gaze goes down towards the left. Retreating warrior, retreating from any battle with the emotions and turning towards befriending the emotions. And come back up. Just rest for a moment. Then bend the left knee, bringing the weight into the left foot, turning onto the right heel, and those toes come up on the right. Arms come wide, hands to the walls. And then that diagonal with the arms, right arm parallel with the right leg. Coming into the peaceful side of the warrior's life, into the befriending, being kind to the negativity as well as the positivity. And coming up and bring the feet together. Let's shake a little bit. So feet right under the hips, shaking down through shoulders and arms, through belly and hips, legs, letting the neck be loose, caring for the body at the same time, and noticing the body. Pausing for a moment, bringing hands to the heart, inhaling at the heart, and exhaling as you push up. Eyes open. Inhale, heart. Exhale as you let go what is ready to be let go. One last time, inhale, heart, and exhale, letting go. Bring the arms down, feet a little wider than hip width, and we'll shake once again. Some qigong teachers give the advice to shake about 100 times every day. I sometimes get up and do this in the middle of the night. And then letting the shaking go. Once again, bringing hands to the heart with an inhale. Exhale, one hand pushes up, one hand pushes down. Inhale, other side. Feeling that from the heel of the hand all the way down through the opposite heel. One more time on each side. Just letting life take you by the hand, as Hokusai says. And let life live through you. And coming to the top of the mat. Inhale up. Exhale down. Extend the feet back and hands down into a plank pose. Knees up or knees down. Squeezing legs together. Strong through the glutes. Then bringing knees down. Let's bring our forearms to the mat, interlacing our fingers. So elbows to wrists and hands are all on the mat. Fingers are interlaced, tuck the toes, raise the hips into dolphin pose. Extending back, letting some softness in the knees be there. Then bringing the knees down, hands come wide or they're extended out in front of you, but let the hips be a little high and perhaps the forehead comes down to the earth. Kind of a moment of truth as the forehead comes to the earth. Then sliding forward, we're coming into Sphinx pose, or option to just let the stomach and heart be flat on the ground with the cheek on the ground and arms along the side. Just completely letting go, front of body down into the earth. We hear a story from Tara Brach of a baker who's a Zen practitioner. He says, "Oh my word, I've been trying to make canned Pillsbury biscuits all these years. Then came an exquisite moment when I actually tasted my biscuits, and I didn't compare them with any standard. They were alive, present, vibrant. Trying to produce a biscuit, a life, with no dirty bowls, no messy feelings, no depression, no anger, was so frustrating. Now I'm actually tasting the present moment of experience. How complex, multifaceted, how unfathomable." So we're all trying to taste the true biscuit of our lives. Let's come into a cobra with hands under the shoulders, elbows bent along the sides. The feet are together and pointed, pressing into the top of the feet and engaging up through the legs and the hips, so that when you lift your head and shoulders, you've got lots of support from the rest of your body, all the body working together. And if you want to push into hands and go up a little farther, that's fine, but make sure that the muscles are active here. And then removing the hands, bring them out to the side, fingers pointing back and thumbs up, palms outward. Shoulder blades squeezing together. Imagine flying through the sky. Then bringing hands under the shoulders. Let's come up into a downward dog. Paddling the heels up and down. At the same time, lengthening back through the arms, through the sides of the body and the spine. the psoas muscle in the inner abdomen, pushing back a little bit. Then bring the left foot underneath the hips, right leg comes up, push into the hands so you can get long up through that leg. Then bring knee under belly or come down on your knees and make your way into knee down lunge. Coming up, feeling the thighs becoming strong to support the hips, bringing their energy into the hips. Hips are balanced, arms are wide, heart is open. Then hands come to the knee, and we're going to bend the knee and come forward, pressing forward, opening that hip flexor on the back leg. And once again, opening up and coming forward. Hands come around that front foot, tuck the back foot, and bring the feet together. Again, up into downward dog. This time the right foot comes under and left foot rises up. Push into the hands, become long, long through the body. Lots of space here. And then onto knees, or bring the knee under the belly and come through. Rising up into a knee down lunge, making sure you have your balance there. Maybe pressing down into the front foot and the front of the back foot and the knee. Opening up. Hands come to the knee. Bending that knee forward, opening the hip flexor in the back. Opening and coming forward. And bringing hands down and bringing the knees together. Taking a moment to open the spine in the front and the back. Letting that inner ocean ripple through the whole body. Blood and hormones flowing. Lymph actively flowing. Emotions flowing. With the flow, with the noticing, we can be more aware of how to appropriately enact our emotions in the world. And then we're going to turn knees over to the side, bring the hips down, coming onto the side of the body with the lower arm supporting the shoulder. Knees are bent mildly, legs are together. Making sure that elbow's right under the shoulder. We're going to bring the top arm with a soft fist over to the eye of the shoulder on the opposite side. And we're going to lift hips for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Option to stay here, or the arm might reach up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the hand to the knee, running down the shin bone, holding the foot or part of the clothing appropriately. Don't overdo the knee, but allowing opening down through the side of the body, particularly through the front of the hip, the front of the quad, relaxing through the belly. Coming up to the knee, knee towards nose, and once again, opening up. One last time, knee to nose, opening with kindness, gentleness, just finding where the body is holding and where it is letting go. And then we're going to go to the other side. Again, that forearm under the shoulder, making sure it's giving good support. Make a little fist, hand goes to the opposite inside shoulder, lifting the hips for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arm comes up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bringing that arm down, hand comes underneath the knee, runs down the shin, pulls back appropriately to open up the quad, the pelvic bowl, this area. It has its own nervous system, its own relationship with the environment, its own set of emotions and immune cells and endocrine cells. Bringing the knee up, opening up through the gut, through the front of the leg, that huge bone, the femur of the thigh, the muscles in the front. One more time. And we'll lie down on our backs, bringing our feet together, letting the knees be wide. Just pause here for a moment, wiggling the hips around and the shoulders around to get comfortable, feeling the contact with the earth. You might be pushing your feet together a bit to allow the knees to come a little wider. And as you do this, inhale with the hips down, then exhale as you raise the hips just an inch or two. Inhale down, exhale, raise. Inhale down, exhale, raise. 2 more times. Inhale down, exhale, raise. Inhale down, pelvic floor and diaphragm contracting and letting go. Extend the legs out, arms come up, fingers towards the ceiling, then raise head and shoulders as fingers point down towards the toes, ankles are flexed, and then using elbows if you need to, coming up into Dandasana or a stick pose. Then bringing the hands back behind with fingers forward, feet are wide on the mat. Lifting up onto hands and feet, letting the hips just swing as if you were a child, swinging back and forth. Option to bring it up into an up plank, strong through the glutes. Perhaps here, an ancient one, but not so ancient that we can't take a few strange positions. And then bringing it back down. Legs extend out, reach forward. Hands come back behind, fingers are forward. Plant the heels and push down on the toes. So toes are pushing down, feet are pushing down. The weight goes into the hands and hips rise, just as much as works for the body. Bringing it back down, reaching forward, hands come back behind, toes go down, heels and heels of the hands take the weight in this inclined position for 3, 2, and 1, and bring it down. And let's come down onto the mat. Arms can come out into a T. Knees are bent above the hips. Let the knees come down to one side about 45 degrees and then the other side. Gently rocking the inner ocean. knowing that change always comes as the waves roll in and the waves roll out, never the same, but always there will be a transformation. So having faith in feeling and noticing, not needing to hide, recognizing our emotions, particularly perhaps our anxieties, enjoying our joys, and befriending our anger or loneliness. One last time on each side. Excuse me. Extend the right leg out. Hips go over to the left slightly. Left foot goes up on right thigh, and drawing that knee across. Finding a long body twist here. Relaxing down through the hips, the base of the spine, up through the lumbar spine, the long thoracic spine behind the waist, behind the heart, up to the cervical spine of the neck. Letting there be space between all the vertebrae. Relaxing the little muscles around the eyes, and the globes of the eyes, and back into the very center of the midbrain. Letting that relaxation run down through the throat, into the space of the heart, unrolling the body, extending out the left leg, right foot comes up, hips go over to the right, and foot comes up on the thigh and over. Softening down through the hip joint, down to the knee, down through calf, the soft underside of the foot, the big toe on both feet, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and little toe. Relaxing through the belly. Relaxing through the fiery solar plexus that becomes hot and fierce and then dies down into kindling. And then rolling back. Let's just take a nice long stretch, some final space up and down through the body as we pull one wrist up and push the heel down, and then on the other side. Then rolling over on our sides, curling up a bit, just coming into ourselves and accepting this unique, messy biscuit that we are. You can stay here if you'd like, or coming up into a sitting position, bringing hands to the heart. Look, feel, let life take you by the hand. Let life live through you. Namaste. Thanks for your practice today.